Hi guys, this is Dr. Farjana. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I want to talk about how to invite more abundance in your life. How to invite more abundance in your life, right? And how to decrease lack thinking. So first I'm going to talk about the difference between a successful person who is engaged in abundant thinking and vice versa, right? Individuals who focus on the lack thinking and what occurs. Okay. So what I want to first start out with is saying that the subconscious mind believes what you tell it, right? The subconscious mind focuses and grows the area that you think about the most, right? So if that's the case, you want to be aware of what you think about, right? Throughout your day. And most of us, unfortunately, are always in this lack mindset, right? We're waiting for something great to happen, or we're waiting for some to attain some goal. We're waiting for retirement or whatever it is, right? Again, we're always in this lack mindset, or what didn't go well in our life, right? Our childhood struggles, the career that we never got, or the degree that the license that we never attained. Again, lack thinking. Many of us also wake up in that state, right? Where we're like, oh my goodness, we wake up by thinking about all the lack that occurred the night before, the day before, right? Or from like in your thoughts, you have this mind pattern that's repetitive of just the lack mindset, right? And I want you to start becoming aware of that. So that's number one. Number two is now the goal, right, is what focus on what successful people do is that they focus on the abundance in their life, right? Because when you focus on the abundance in your life, no, you invite more abundance, right? You increase that abundance, right? So again, focusing on it, even if it's 10 minutes a day where you sit down and you sit and think about, you create a list of all your happy moments in your life. You create another list of all your successes in your life, right? When you focus on that for at least 10 minutes a day, start seeing how your life starts flourishing, right? Because you're in that abundant mindset, right? And I really want you to focus on like just self-reflect on like when you wake up. Don't get out of bed until you are in an abundant mindset, right? So just watch your thoughts and see where it's going, right? Is it the lack or is it the abundant mindset, right? And then don't get out of bed until you're in that abundant mindset. Also, something very, very important to understand is that there has been many, many studies that have been done, right? Uh, I think Joe Dispenza does this work where he talks about having this change mindset, right? So when you're in this change mindset, you're actually in you're actually in abundant state, because what happens is if you're in a growth mindset, you're still waiting for something to happen. But if you're in a change mindset, you're already abundant. You already believe that you already have everything in your life, right? And everything else will happen because you're in that like positive mindset. And then what ends up happening is you go take action. So it's important to have a change mindset because you just get up and take action. You're not waiting for anything to happen. Again, when you're waiting for something to happen, you're still in that lack mindset. Something to ponder over. It's an interesting way of thinking, right? It's different than the growth mindset. Again, you're not waiting for anything to happen because you're already amazing. You're already abundant. You have everything, right? Now you're just gonna get more, right? More abundance in your life. And this is, I know in Islam they talk about that too. Like if you focus on gratitude, God gives you more, right? So these are certain things that you want to like reflect on. Interesting, right? Yeah. All right, guys. So again, say no to lack, right? And increase that abundance in your life. Say no to the lack mindset, right? Say absolutely no to lack thinking. I'm not living there anymore. I already have everything I need in my life. And that's it. And only good things happen in my life. Only good things will happen in my life, right? And anything that doesn't, I'm going to work through it because I'm in a change mindset as well. All right, guys. Hope this was helpful.
Hi guys, this is Dr. Farjana. I hope you guys are doing well this morning. Today I want to talk about how to not be a victim, how to not be in a victim mindset. So what is a victim mindset? A victim mindset is a person who doesn't really take action when certain things are making them uncomfortable, when certain things are victimizing them, basically, right? So I'm going to share like some strategies that you can use to not be in that victim mentality, right? Mindset. So number one, whenever you feel uncomfortable, take care of it, right? Whenever you feel that discomfort, get out of that discomfort, right? Again, not being in that victim mentality. Another thing that you can do is that you can, when let's say you're at a hotel or you're at a restaurant and you're not getting the quality food that you paid for, say something, right? So the goal is to, again, any discomfort, take care of it. Okay. I'll give you an example. Like, a lot of us are so trained in certain situations that we think that other people will take care of it for us, right? So like the other day I was at a hotel and it was so loud, extremely loud, right? Someone was playing music really late at night and no one said anything in the entire floor. No one. So obviously I made the phone call to the front desk, and I told them, like, hey, this is what's going on. It's late. Someone is, playing music very loud. So then the management took care of it. Again, like, why should you suffer? So if you're suffering, right, don't speak up. God gave you a voice for a reason, right? So again, to get out of that victim mentality, don't wait for somebody to do something. You need to do something about it, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people are waiting for someone else to do something to take care of the situation, right? Like, it's that individuation state where when there's a bigger group and something is going on, like a wrong action of some sort, you're always waiting for someone else to take care of it, right? Because you think there's a bigger group and someone will say something, right? Or again, part of it is people think that you have to stay in that state and just not and suffer. You don't have to suffer, right? So again, like, let's say you're thirsty, go take care of it. Go get water. If you need to use the restroom, pull over and use the restroom, find a place to go. A lot of us, again, are so trained to be in this suffering state. Like, okay, we're just going to wait it out. And, as soon as you feel discomfort, take care of it, right? Make sure you're getting your money's worth. You worked hard for it, right? So if the food isn't good, ask the waiter to change it, right? Speak up. If you're at a hotel and you paid for that hotel room, you're uncomfortable because of the way other guests are behaving, right? And it's late at night and they're, putting the music so loud, you need to take care of that. Speak up, right? Through management. Again, say no to victim mentality. Do not be a victim, right? Get out of that victim, like, oh, it's just that's just the way it is. No. It's not just the way it is, right? It's your choice. You can get up and do something about it. So again, get out of that victim mentality, right, guys? And see how your life changes. Good morning, guys. This is Dr. Farjana. I hope you guys are doing well. Well, today I want to talk to you about being an encourager versus a criticizer. Encourager versus a criticizer. An encourager is a person who encourages others, right? And with positive statements, with, hopeful statements. And a criticizer, a person who puts somebody down, who criticizes, right? Most of the time. So when you are... I want you to self-reflect and see what kind of person you are. Are you an encourager or are you a criticizer? What do you say to your friends? What do you say to your kids? What do you say to your siblings? Are you, again, an encourager or criticizer? Try to consciously choose to be an encourager, right? Also teach this to your children, right? Teach them to be an encourager, right? Watch them as they interact with their friends and their siblings. What kind of, how are they speaking and relating to others? Right? And when you notice that, if you notice that they're criticizing, say, hey, and explain what that it means to be an encourager and criticizer, and say, hey, are you being an encourager right now, or are you being a criticizer right now? Right? That's a good technique to use to kind of help them teach them to self-reflect, right? And change their behavior. Also, lastly, notice who are the criticizers and encouragers in your life, right? I mean, all the people that you interact with on a regular basis. You want to make sure you have more encouragers in your life. And when there is somebody that's criticizing, often call it out. Say, hey, can you stop criticizing? I didn't like that joke. That was a mean joke. Even if they try to play it off as if it was a joke, right? You have to call it out. So again, learn to be an encourager, not a criticizer. We don't need any more criticizers in our lives, right? We need more encouragers. So consciously choose to have more encouragers in your life, correct the behaviors of criticizers, and learn to be an encourager, and teach your kids this as well, and family members, loved ones. All right, guys, take care. Lots of love to you. You are awesome. Hi guys, this is Dr. Farjana. Hope you guys are doing well. Today I'm going to talk about another technique that you can use to increase positivity in your life. Basically, it's called stop acting like a cave dweller. Stop acting like a cave dweller. What do I mean by that? A lot of us are taught in society that we need to overreact to life. A lot of us overreact like a cave dweller. Think about how a cave dweller reacts, right? They come out of the cave and they're like, ah, right? And what you want to learn is that you don't have to overreact to life. Why? Because when you overreact to situations, right? Because you have a choice. When something happens, right? If your teenager does something, or somebody says something to you at work, or you have a choice on how you're going to react. And you have to ask yourself, am I going to overreact like a cave dweller? Or am I going to respond in an objective way? Right? And what are the reasons that you don't want to act like a cave dweller? Number one, right? When you overreact to life, right? When you are in a state of hostility, anger, right? A lot of the times you create negative hormones in your body, right? There's an effect. There's an actual physical, right, effect your body has. It produces negative hormones, right? Your immunity decreases if you're constantly in this state of flight and fight, right? Every time you're just going about life and you're overreacting, what do you think it's gonna do to your mind and your body, right? The clear research shows the effect stress and hostility, right? The way you relate to people in a hostile manner has an impact, a negative impact on your entire body. So now knowing that, you want to be very, very conscious as to how you react in life, right? You always have those choices. You don't want to be in that constant flight and fight state, right? So I'm going to share a simple technique that you can use when negative things happen, right? So instead of being reactive like a cave dweller, you can be proactive and be objective, right? Right? You can put the emotions aside and say, am I going to have an emotional reaction right now like a cave dweller? Or am I going to have an objective response? So what I want you to do is you're basically here learning how to use the ego against the ego. So obviously the ego, with your ego, you don't want to be a cave dweller, right? And then obviously when someone is mean to you or someone is responding in a negative way or something's not going your way, your ego also acts up, right? Because you're like, wait a second. Don't disrespect me like that. Don't, why isn't this going my way? Why isn't the train coming on time? Why did I miss this train? Why didn't it wait? Right? So that's again your ego. So basically you're learning to use the ego against the ego by saying, I'm not going to respond like a cave dweller. And I want you to visualize this. I want you to visualize a cave person coming out of the cave, and that's you. Like have that image. As soon as something negative happens, that you don't want to be that, right? You don't want to be that. Absolutely not, right? And that will help you. Take a deep breath, right? And out. And it will help you be more objective, right? So say, nope, I'm not going to respond like a cave dweller. nope, I'm not going to respond like a cave dweller, right? I don't want to, I know that if I keep continuing to respond in this way, right, I'm going to age quickly. I'm going to have future diseases, right? It's going to affect my body. I'm going to get sick often. I'm not going to respond like this. I'm not going to respond like this, right? So try to catch yourself when you're in that, oh no, thinking, right? Like when you, again, overreact. Don't overreact, guys. Don't overreact. You got this. All right, guys, take care. Bye. I hope this was helpful. I know it helped me. Bye. Hi, guys. This is Dr. Farjana. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Today, I'm going to talk about the negative effects that devices have on our sleep, right? The negative effects that our devices have on our sleep. Firstly, stop using devices 2 hours before bed. That's the biggest information that I want to give you, right? Like, just stop using your devices 2 hours before bed. And the reason I'm sharing this is because this helped me. It really helped me. I've read many articles. I've actually done lectures on this, right? But this particular information resonated with me as far as why I need to decrease this phone usage. So number one, digital devices are basically creating mental and physical health problems, right, on society as a whole. Why? Why particularly? Because it's creating chaos in our circadian rhythm. Okay, what is that? What is the circadian rhythm? Basically, it's a biological clock that regulates our sleep-wake cycle, right? All of us have these cells in us that basically, again, helps regulate our sleep-wake cycle, right? With natural lighting, right? Now, also this area regulates our temperature, mood, alertness, and cognitive functions. So sleep has an extremely important role. It plays an extremely important role in our brain function. So I want you to understand the importance of sleep first, right? Do you see why it's important, right? Why we have to regulate the sleep-wake cycle, right? Why we have to maintain our, get sleep, okay? So what is the devices? What are the devices doing? What are they doing, basically? Okay, so devices create blue light, right? It's like an electric light, obviously, right? Our devices create that. And because it creates this unnatural light, right? It starts blurring the boundaries between day and night, right? And and hence creating this chaos, right, in the circadian clock. Do you understand? Okay. Now, what else does it do, right? Like how in particular, right, is it creating this chaos? Okay. Number one, of the visible light spectrum, blue light has the strongest effect on our circadian rhythm, right? It creates this false sense of light, right, in us. Yeah, like there's this false sense of light. Like it creates this sense of like morning sunlight. Next, exposure to the short wavelengths of blue light, right, from screens and smartphones and tablets, it mimics the morning sunlight. So if, let's say, you're using your phone at night, like say right before bed, it's creating this false sense of sunlight. Yeah, it really is. And then you wonder why you're awake. Then you wonder why you can't fall asleep. Some of us use the phone to thinking that it's going to help us fall asleep, but it really isn't, right? Because it's going to, again, you're going to wake up groggy in the morning, right? Have you noticed when you feel like your eyes are just so heavy in the morning after you use a lot, when you're on the phone a lot, right? It makes sense. Next, there's according to Psychology of Today, there's age-related changes to the eyes, right? That reduce the amount of light reaching to the circadian clock. Hence, this disturbs sleep in a lot of us, especially in the elderly, right? In older adults. Also, we know this, and I'm sure you've heard of this. There's a decline of mental health of of adolescents and young adults, right? And that's not just because of the content in social media, but the blue light that is coming out of devices, right? It's throwing off our balance. So guys, it's so important for us to like decrease the use of the phone. It's like we're so robotic. It's like I always call the phone my third child. Like everybody has this third child they're carrying around, or this child that they're carrying around with them. And you need to really see how this phone is, these devices are having, the effect that these devices are having on us. It's negative. It's affecting us mentally, physically. And I really want you to internalize this. The reason I'm sharing this is because I want you to understand this from a scientific perspective, right? Like what this device is doing to us. So again, the biggest message here is do not use your phone 2 hours before bed. Just turn it off if you need to, but just don't use it. And you'll see like you'll wake up so much more present and in a more peaceful state. It has changed my life, and I know it'll change yours. Okay? Again, it has a negative impact on your brain function. Right? You don't want to mess with that. You don't want to like impede that at all. Right, guys? In any negative way. Hi guys, this is Dr. Farjana. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Well, today when I was taking the railroad home, I saw a purse, and there was a message. It said, take your time to nourish your soul, right? Take your time to nourish your soul. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, such a great message. It's such an amazing message, and all of us need to internalize. So today I'm going to share something, a particular technique that you can use to nourish your soul. So every single day, I want you to take time to make your soul happy. I really want you to do that every single day. I don't care if it's a work day. Every single day, 7 days a week, right? Then you start living a fulfilled life. So even if it's rollerblading, riding your bike around the block, your house or the block, right? And I don't want it to be something sensory. I don't want it to be something in the sense of like from a device. I don't want you to get your nourishment from a device. I want you to seriously consider what are some things you're going to do daily, on a daily basis, to nourish your soul. All right, guys? Even if it's healthy, eating ice cream, obviously in moderation. Even if it's two pieces of chocolate, right? But that's something you can do if it's on a rainy day. But primarily, I want you to do something active, right? Even if it's just walking in nature, or go to your backyard and take your shoes off and just walk on the grass. Just sit down on a nice chair and look at the birds outside, right? Look at what the animals are doing. Nourish your soul daily, guys. Life is too precious to let work overrun you, to let politics and the diplomacy that occurs, right? The tragedies to, like crush your soul. You need to actively go out there and nourish your soul. It's not just going to happen don't wait for your vacation days. Don't wait for the weekend. Every single day. And I'm talking about healthy nourishment. I'm not talking going out and partying, right? Like a rock star. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, peaceful. Things that bring you inner peace. All right, guys? Make it, promise yourself that every day you'll do one thing that nourishes your soul. All right, guys? I got the message to you guys. Hope your heart is full of love, peace, right? All right, guys, take care. Bye. Hi, guys. This is Dr. Farjana. Hope you guys are doing amazing. As always, I love connecting with you guys. Today, I'm going to talk about what happens to your body when you start setting boundaries, right? When you start healing from codependent behavior, right? When you start loving yourself, especially after many years of not doing those things, right? So what your body is going to do, it is going to resist, right? It is going to resist when you start setting boundaries with others, right? It's going to resist when you start getting out of that codependent tendencies, right? When you start healing from that, it's going to resist when you start loving yourself. Why? Because your brain has been trained, your mind and body has been trained, right, to do the opposite. Not love yourself, right? Not set boundaries with people, right? You let them walk all over you, right, in the past. Or, you helped others at the expense of yourself many times. So now when you start doing the opposite, your brain, your mind and body are going to be like, what? What's going on? What's going on? Literally, you're going to see a physical reaction. What does this physical reaction look like? It can be stomach upset, right? Like an upset stomach, diarrhea. It can be aches and pain in your body, right? And I want you to be prepared for it, because I want you to understand that your body resisting this new habit formation of yours, right? It is going to resist it, right? And I want you to know that it's part of the process and be okay with it. Like, okay, so when you know, you can expect it. Like, okay, this is part of the process. This is part of the healing process. And I am going to be more in tune with my body. I'm going to eat healthier because I know it's going through this transition, right? So again, remember, like I always say, your subconscious mind believes anything you tell it. So if you're going to feed it with years of, I'm ugly, I don't have any friends, right? It's going to believe it. And your body's going to succumb to that same scenario, right? If you tell yourself, my marriage sucks, I have a horrible relationship, I'm not happy, right? The mind and body are going to conform. Same thing. Oh, if you focus on your childhood trauma for all your life and don't get the help you need, it's going to be in that state at all times, most of the time, in that flight and fight mode. So when you start doing the opposite and you start retraining your brain, what's happening? Right? The body is going to resist, like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? This is something different, right? The mind's going to be like, okay, all right, I can get used to this, but there will be resistance. So I want you to be aware of that, guys, okay? Don't stop the healing process when your body starts resisting. Please, guys, you just have to pass through that process, that phase. And then, right, the new habit, right, the new belief is going to become your reality, right? So keep fighting and feed your mind the positive thoughts, right? Right, of your new behavior. All right, guys, I hope you guys really internalize this and understand this, and move forward. All right, guys, bye. Hey guys, this is Dr. Farjana. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Well, guess what, guys? Today, while I was taking the train, yes, the New York City trains, right? I saw myself getting into like a bit of a heightened state, right? And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I caught myself. I actually, was able to watch my thought process. And then I realized something. I realized that society trains us to dodge bullets at all times, right? It teaches us it teaches us to dodge bullets at work, at our commute, family dynamics, right? We're always like, okay, something bad might happen. Yes, something bad might happen, right? Remember what happened last year on the trains? And so you start getting into this state. You go to work, and then it's reinforced. Like, do you remember all the shootings that happened at schools? And it's just like, everybody's in this like fear-based mentality, right? Like flight and fight mode at all times, hyper-vigilance. And it's not a good state to be in, guys. Because what I want to tell you is two things. Number one, negative unconscious behavior has occurred for generations, right? For centuries, right? It's always, like, think about it. Crime has always existed 20 years ago, right? 100 years ago, right? Unconscious behavior in some form has existed, and it is going to continue to exist, right? So we have to realize that when we understand the probable action of nature, right? Like in the form of, let's say, hurricanes or whatnot, pandemics, or the probable action of politics, right? The probable action of crime, right? The probable action of work dynamics. When we're familiar with the dynamics and the probable actions, because they've been happening for centuries, right? Then we don't let these situations affect us. We don't let it ruin our days, because we know this is it has occurred already, and it's going to occur. There's going to be unconscious behavior and there's going to be conscious behavior, right? So how do you get yourself out of this like flight and fight mode of, oh my goodness, what's happening in the world? Oh my goodness, we gotta like do this now, and oh no thinking. What do? We have to understand that we have to know the probable actions, obviously be aware, right? Right? And then number 2, we need to realize that relaxation equals efficiency. Relaxation equals efficiency. So if we get into a frazzled state, that's not going to do us any good. It's going to actually create negative hormones in us, right? It's going to decrease our immunity, right? So it's important to not be in like such a hypervigilant state at all times, right? In this state of hostility of what's happening in the world, right? Politics, diplomacy, right? All of that. So you have to understand that the way to combat negativity is by being in a relaxed state. And when you are in a relaxed state, that leads to efficiency. So better decision making on what you're going to do and how you're going to handle unconscious behavior, right? So you don't want to be running around like a rooster on your daily life, right? At work, at home. Oh no, did you hear what happened on the news? Okay, I'm sure that happened 30 years ago too in some form, right? I'm not saying we don't take action, but being in a frazzled state is not going to make you any more alert. Any more efficient. Relaxation, right? Being in a state of relaxation, that's going to make you efficient. So how can you add more relaxation into your life? I would recommend getting weekly massages. Like honestly, like you can go to one of those places like a nail salon or something, and you get a massage for $15 for 15 minutes or $20, right? I want you to exercise. That's going to add relaxation. When you get home, take a shower, put some candles on, right? Do some boxing, right? Get all of it out after your daily commute, right? Or your daily schedule. But again, the goal is to yes, of course you want to be aware, but not in a frazzled manner. You want to be aware, but you want to have relaxation in your daily life where you're nourishing your soul so you can make those right decisions and handle life better and handle the stimuli of life better, right? Again, number 1, understand history. Number 2, know the probable action of certain dynamics, certain people, right? Certain arenas. Number 3, add relaxation, because relaxation equals efficiency. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. I really do. Let's start changing our mindset, right? And instead of being in a hypervigilant state, let's refuse to be like that. And let's refuse to internalize other people who make that a priority. And let's instead add more relaxation, because we know relaxation will lead to efficiency, right? All right, guys, take care. Lots of love to you and your family. Protect your families, protect yourself, and do not buy into this crazy state of being frazzled and hypervigilant. And like, oh no, thinking, oh no. Remember, you don't want to be a cave dweller, right? Objective over emotional decisions, okay? Emotional choices or emotional reactions. All right, guys, take care. Bye. Hi, guys. This is Dr. Farjana. I hope you guys are doing well. Today, I want to talk about not being so busy and self-absorbed, okay? How can we balance work and life, right? Okay, so firstly, like, you just have to make a conscious decision not to be so busy and self-absorbed, right? Don't be so busy for your children or yourself, right? Like, don't be too busy for your children or for yourself, where you're not present, right? You're running around like a rooster. Before you know it, time will pass. That extra hour you worked for won't be worth it. It really won't. Make sure daily you play with your children. Like, for example, like if you have 2 children, I want you to spend 30 minutes with one child and 30 minutes with another, even if it's your teenager, right? Commit to that every single day where you're interacting with your children, right? Also, nourish your soul in some way. Rest, right? Do something that feeds your soul in a positive way, right? Have heartfelt conversations with your teen, right? Spend some intimate time with your spouse, even if it's like rubbing each other's head, right? Giving each other a little simple massage daily, right? It only takes 10 minutes. Finally, a simple technique you can use to maintain work-life balance is create an evening schedule. I cannot emphasize this enough, right? In this schedule, include your workout, kid time, spouse connection time, self-care, God connection. So like seriously, if you get home at 4 o'clock, let's say, just, time it out and follow this schedule. It will help you. It will give you guidelines, right? Remember, your brain absorbs things better when you give it some guidelines, right? So hope this was helpful, guys. I know the school year started, and you know what? I know you got this. You can do this, guys. You can do this. Do not let work overrun you, okay? And also, do not get overrun by accomplishing and your, goal achievement as well. You have to have that balance because life just, you know how life goes, right? It just goes. So savor the moments, okay, guys? Savor the moments. All right, guys. Take care. Bye. Hi guys, this is Dr. Farjana. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I love connecting with you guys. Today I want to talk about how to not have a complain mindset, right? And more of a solution-oriented mindset. It's important to acknowledge that complaining comes from your ego and a lack mindset. It doesn't really solve anything, right? Instead, it creates a flight, fight, and freeze mode within yourself. It takes you out of a relaxed state, hence increases inefficient behavior, right? It's important to vent, of course, and process your emotion, but do not turn it into complaining. I'm going to share some simple techniques that you can use where you can vent and process versus complain, right? And be more solution-oriented. So number 1, have a 2 to 3 time rule, meaning complain about, I don't want to use the word complain. You want to say vent, right? Vent with someone or for at least 2 to 3 times about the same subject. But after that, you need to stop, right? So have like a 2-time rule, right? That you're going to vent or process this. No, when talking about the same subject more than 3 times, it starts turning into complaining, right? So I'm not referring to talking to a therapist. Obviously, that's different, right? If there's trauma involved, it's still bothering you. But I'm talking about when you're randomly just bringing it up to everyone you know, right? More than 3 times, and this just turns into complaining, right? Plain old complaining. Instead, ask yourself, how can I be more solution-oriented versus complaint-oriented? So another technique you can ask yourself is, how can I be more solution-oriented versus complaint-oriented? Am I being solution-oriented or am I being complaint-oriented, right? Hope this helps, and this will really absolutely help you be more productive in your life when certain stressors come into play. All right, hope this is helpful.